What if your business had a central nervous system? One single thing that connects every single action, from the moment you purchase a part to the moment you get paid? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to follow the complete journey of a product using ERP Genius Pro, from the very beginning right through to the final sale. Let's get into it. So here's our game plan. First up, we're going to break down what this business OS really is. Then we'll walk through the super simple setup. After that, the real fun starts. We'll track a product coming into the warehouse and then follow it all the way out the door in what's called the quote-to-cash cycle. And finally, we'll see how the system handles all the other crucial stuff that keeps your business running smoothly. All right, so let's start at the top. We're calling this your business operating system, but what does that actually mean? What is ERP Genius Pro at its core, and who's it for? Okay, so at its heart, it's an inventory management software, but don't let that simple description fool you. This isn't just about counting widgets on a shelf. It's about having a bird's eye view of your entire operation, sales, purchases, stock levels. It's about automating the boring stuff, making fewer mistakes, and, let's be honest, saving a whole lot of money in the process. And we're not talking about some tiny little improvement here. The source material makes it really clear. For the right business, a system like this can be an absolute game changer. It fundamentally shifts how you manage the most important part of your business, your products. So who's the right business? Well, the range is actually pretty wide. We're talking distributors, wholesalers, manufacturers, even retailers. Basically, if your company deals with physical goods that you need to buy, hold, or sell, then this is built for you. Okay, so before we can start tracking all those products, we have to lay the groundwork. Let's take a quick look at the foundational steps you need to get your business up and running on the platform. And you know what? It's refreshingly simple. It really boils down to just two main steps. First, you create your account, get your organization set up and verified. Then you configure your settings. This is where you plug in all your company info, your logo, your currency, and this is a neat detail, how you want your documents to be numbered, so everything is organized right from day one. All right, our foundation is set. Now we get to the exciting part. We're going to start tracking an actual product on its journey. And that journey always begins with the supply chain, getting those goods into your warehouse. And it all starts with a pretty logical first step, right? You can't buy anything if the system has no idea who you're buying it from. So step one is to add your suppliers, creating a digital Rolodex for every single vendor you work with. Once your supplier is in the system, you can create a purchase order, or a PO. This is your official documented request to buy something. You just specify the supplier, what you want, and how many. And here's where it starts to get cool. The system automatically calculates the net amount. No more calculators or spreadsheets needed. Now, this next step is absolutely critical. The delivery truck arrives, you unload the boxes, and you log them in through what the system calls a store inward. Think of it as officially checking your goods into the hotel. The second you do this, boom, your inventory levels are updated across the entire system in real time. Everyone knows the stack is on hand. Okay, our product is officially in the warehouse. Now for the part everyone loves, selling it. Let's follow the other half of this journey, the complete cycle from quote all the way to cash. For a lot of businesses, the sales process kicks off with a quotation. This is your formal professional offer to a potential customer. You lay it all out, who the customer is, what they want, the price, and of course, how long that price is good for. So your customer gets the quote, they love it, and they say yes. What happens next? This is where the quotation gets converted into something called an order copy. And this is a really important distinction to understand. The quotation is the external offer that goes to the customer. The order copy, that's your internal green light. It's the signal to your team to actually start getting that order ready. Now, what if your customer pays a deposit or an advance? The system handles that beautifully. Any payment you record against that internal order copy is automatically tagged as an advance payment, keeping that money neatly tracked before the final bill goes out. And now you're about to see the real power of having everything connected. When it's time to create the final sale invoice, you just reference the order copy number. That's it. Everything. The customer, the products, the prices, it all gets pulled in automatically. And even better, it remembers that advance payment and automatically deducts it, giving you the final balance due. It's just so clean and error-proof. So the product is paid for and it's time to ship. As it physically leaves your building, the system generates two last documents, a gate outward, which is like the official exit log, and a delivery challan, which is the delivery note that travels with the shipment. And just like that, the product's journey is complete and every single step was tracked. But as we all know, business is way more than just buying and selling stuff. A really great system also has to manage the people and all the little processes that make the main work possible. And ERP Genius Pro has you covered here too. There are modules to manage all your employee details and payroll. If you do service work, you can create job cards to assign and track those tasks. And when the job's done, you can create detailed service reports, which gives you a perfect record of everything that happened. But let's look at something that can get a little messy in the real world. Something with a few moving parts. For example, how does the system handle something like employee expenses for a business trip? It's actually a really clever 4-step process. First, the company gives the employee in advance. Step 2, the employee records all their costs, and they mark whether they paid for it themselves or if the company paid directly. Step 3, the system automatically adds up only the expenses the employee paid out of their own pocket. And finally, step 4, it compares that total to the original advance to figure out the balance. And that leads to a super simple settlement. There are only 2 possible outcomes. If the advance was bigger than what the employee spent, they simply return the difference. But if they spent more of their own money than the advance they were given, the company pays them the difference. It's clean, it's auditable, and it completely removes the headache from expense reports. So when you step back and look at this entire flow, from that initial purchase order all the way down to settling an employee's travel expenses, you see how every single piece is logically and seamlessly connected. Which really just leaves one final question to think about. Is your entire business workflow this connected?